do get opportunities for interviews. Somebody can reach out to you and ask you for an interview. And one question that women often get asked in those interviews is, how do you balance family and work? A question that a man is never asked, but you are asked. How do you balance family and work? Have you ever been asked this question, and how does it make you feel?
Not, I think, directly, but if I were asked, I would be very happy to note that that person recognizes that I have work to do and a life to lead, and that I need to balance that. So I think it is in how well we as women also position our ambitions. It is very easy to get lost in making the moment and presenting yourself as superwoman. And sometimes we cause it ourselves. A lot of times, when you actually walk to somebody and tell them from your most feminine, sensitive point of view, my child is sick, they may actually understand. Because somewhere out there, he could be a father as well. Somewhere out there, he could be a brother. So I feel that sometimes, again, back to the imposter syndrome and that back voice that makes you feel like I need to prove that I'm 360 degrees, 7 days a week, I don't know, all year round.
And so you push yourself beyond.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So I think in trying to come back to your question, it's very important that we as women also understand exactly what we want, even as we go for the interviews. Let people understand exactly who you are. My work capability is what has brought me to the interview. My interest is to do my work in a way that enables me to continue carrying on my role as a woman, as a mother, as a friend, as everybody else. And again, it's always a good point of reflection, I think, even for employers. I've met a couple of people here who are in the talent area. So perhaps as women sitting in such positions as well, how do we help to be a bit more sensitive in enabling a woman to be comfortable with that question, rather than looking at it like, I think if I said that I have 10 children, they'll turn me back. If I said I have to drop my children to school every week, they'll possibly say, no, you can't do this job. How do we make it easy and break that bias? Because I believe there's a whole bias around work-life balance. It's complicated, it's a tough one, but I believe there's room to do that.
Great, so we are running out of time, so I'll just go 30 seconds. Do you have a hack on how to break the bias in the workplace?
My hack at the level or where I sit in is really to be an advocate for women. Because if we are speaking about these issues, if we are addressing them, we can then break the bias. So calling out people when they do some of these things, because a lot of the time they're not even aware that they're doing it, and just bringing to them that realization of the issues. Also turning men into advocates for us, because sometimes we think that this is a journey we must walk alone. I don't think it is. I have had very positive male role models in my life. My father, my husband, my brothers. So I've had men who have cheered me along the way. And I'm sure that we can't do this alone. So we need those he for she's, we need the men to join us. So let's be advocates, let's carry along the men even as we do this work. Thank you.
Great. Jennifer, how can a woman overcome self-doubt?
Self-doubt. Just before I say that, I want to celebrate every man that is watching tonight, every man that is here tonight, even as, basically has been cited that, your father, your brothers and husband have been your cheerleaders. Really, we wouldn't be here if we didn't have the men in our lives that have been our great cheerleaders. And so, I've forgotten the question. How do you overcome self-doubt? It's called a senior moment. Yes, and so even as we say kudos to those people, how do you overcome self-doubt? I'll give you a very simple exercise. First and foremost, you need mirror conversations where you look into yourself and speak to yourself. And you need to just, I am dash enough. You need to write 10 sentences of, I am good enough, I'm beautiful enough, I'm intelligent enough. Everything you want to say about yourself, put it in your wardrobe, put it in the kitchen, put it next to your mirror, and speak to yourself every morning, and every evening. I want you to know that imposter syndrome is indeed a psychological disorder. It is actually cited and classified as a psychological disorder. So don't be astonished when you experience self-doubt, second-guessing. Remember, it's about voices that speak to you in your ear. They're called gremlins. It's your interpretation, it's your perception, it's your limiting beliefs at the end of the day. Just remember, you are good and fearfully and wonderfully created. I'll just add on to work-life balance and say, I have been in that struggle for a long period of my life. But I did come to the school of thought. You can never balance between work and life and love. You would never balance. It is called work, love, life integration. I mean, you are in the office and it's break time. Take a walk and say, hi, babes, how you doing? You call them up and say hello. If you're here tonight and we're going to be here a long time, you better write that message and say, we are having fun, I'm coming home. And that's what it's all about. It's integrating your work and your home life. You can't get it wrong if you do that.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. That's a wonderful point to close.